Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Tabletop Simulator. We are on the dead surface of Mars as we play Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. Those of you who are fans of Terraforming Mars, like me, will be interested to hear about this game, which offers the same punch of Terraforming Mars in a smaller package. That is still every bit as fun as the base game, although in different ways. If you are a big fan of Terraforming Mars, you may be wondering what are the differences. The primary differences are there are no city tiles and there are no greenery tiles. There's forest tiles, all these give you 1 point at the end of the game. Instead, the only thing you're trying to accomplish is flipping over 9 ocean tiles, getting oxygen all the way up, and getting heat all the way up. Now, I did want to check one thing here. I believe everything has to be at the very top, right? To end the game. Yeah, it has to get all the way up to the top. So we have to get the temperature of Mars up to a balmy 8 degrees Celsius. Get the oxygen up to 14 degrees Celsius and flip over all of the ocean tiles. In order to do... We're playing the solo game today. Now, I want to give Stronghold Games and the Fresh Elias brothers that developed the game a lot of credit for creating both the competitive version, a 2-player co-op, and a solo mode. There's a couple expansions coming out for this. I backed them on Kickstarter because I love Terraforming Mars and I like Ares Expedition quite a lot. And I'm told that they will significantly improve the co-op game. As it is, it's really hard, but I still think it's enjoyable. And I do recommend it for 2 new players who want to learn how the game works without worrying too much about beating each other. The solo game basically gives me, I am a free agent, I can do anything I like, and then I get a pal here who will occasionally give me, out of the kindness of their heart, an extra action to take. Occasionally. I'm going to put this bad boy right there. So, how do we play the game? Well, in the solo mode, I have 25 turns to complete all the terraforming requirements in order to win the game. If I don't do that, then I lose. I played a test game earlier today, and I did not win. Which is fine. The point of playing games is to have a good time. Whether you win or not isn't as important, in my eyes anyway. In order to do that, we have an action selection element in the game that is quite similar to something like a Roll for the Galaxy. There are 5 phases you can take. But in order to talk about them in a meaningful way, we need to see some cards first. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up my setup. In order to do that, I need to draw 2 corporation cards and choose between them. And sit down in the red spot. I always forget this for whatever reason. So we have the Tharsis Republic. I get $40 to start the game, and I'm much more efficient when it comes to drawing cards. Oh. Ecoline helps me make plants. It costs... I get less money, but it also only costs me 7 plants. Which means I can get oxygen done faster, which means I'll have more time for heat. I kind of like that. Tharsis Republic is fine, but the big benefit is starting to begin with lots and lots of money. I'd rather start with some production. So we're going to pick Ecoline. Goodbye, Tharsis Republic. I'm going to start the game with 27 Mars bucks. Gold cubes are worth 10, silver cubes are worth 5, and bronze cubes are worth 1. I then set my plant production to 1. And let's talk about the different elements on the card here. Whenever you produce, you get to make stuff. So the first column here is for money. Now your money is equal to your terraforming rating plus your bucks here. We have drawing extra cards. We have getting heat. getting plants, and then these two in base Terraforming Mars, you remove the cubes. These are permanent bonuses now. $2 if you buy steel, and $3 if you buy into titanium, if you use those kinds of cards. Heat goes here, plants go here. Whenever you trigger the action card, which we'll talk about in a little bit, you get to use the standard actions down here at the bottom, which is $20 for a plant, 14 for some temperature, 8 for a plant, 8 for heat, 15 for ocean tiles. So, the second part is setup, and technically you're supposed to draw the cards first. I'm just not doing that because I'm lazy. So I start the game with 8 cards. Let's talk about the anatomy of a card in Terraforming Mars. Every card is divided into 3 colors: green, blue, and red. Green cards are development cards. These help you build your engine. In this particular case, for example, this gives us permanent heat production, and instantly gives us 1 VP for a forest, and raises oxygen. All for $18. On the left-hand side, you'll notice some tags. These can affect other cards, but for the most part, they don't do anything themselves. That's biothermal power. Blue cards are buildings, or construction cards. These offer an ongoing benefit for the rest of the game. This particular card here has a requirement, which we can see right here, which is that the temperature must be red or warmer. At the beginning of the game, we're on purple temperature, so this card won't be very good for a while. Lastly, we have events. Events are one-time cards that offer some specific benefit right away, and then they're gone. This includes imported hydrogen to flip an ocean tile. This includes advanced ecosystems, which require me to have a plant tag, animal tag, and microbe tag. Or this just lets me draw a card. Anytime you see the little picture of Mars, like you see at the edge of Lagrange Observatory there, it's just a point, or some number of points. In the solo mode, and even in co-op mode, I don't really care about points. Points are great. I'm all for points in most games. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to terraform Mars. So building a strong engine is much more important. So, let's talk about the 5 phases that can happen. Phases always happen in order. And as I said, my solo pal here will also draw a card as well, but I get to pick. The first phase you can choose is development. This lets you play a green development card, and if you're the person to play a card, you also get the bonus. In this case, the card costs $3 less. It is very possible to get to a point in the game where your engine is so powerful you're playing cards for free. That's a really good place to be in. Okay. Construction, much like development, lets you play a red card or a blue card. The bonus lets you play a second red or blue card, or you can just draw a card. Your hand limit in Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition is 10 cards. If you have to discard a card, you get some money for it, so you're not totally screwed, but only if you have to discard it with no other effect, and as long as the card doesn't tell you to do it. The next card is the action card. This lets you trigger any blue cards that might have actions. Unfortunately, my current blue card in my hand doesn't have an action, so I can't show it to you, but also triggers these standard actions down here at the bottom. Very important. If you can turn plants into oxygen or heat into temperature, you must do it by the end of an action phase. It is mandatory. Not optional, mandatory. Very important to remember that. You don't have to spend money, but you don't spend plants or heat as appropriate. If I play it as the bonus, then I get to do an action a second time, which is pretty cool. Next is production. This is how you get paid. You get money plus your terraforming rating. So a terraforming rating game is 5. You also produce cards if you get any, heat if you get any, and plants if you get any. If you play it as a bonus, you get $4 just for playing the card. Finally, we have research. This lets everyone gets to draw 2 cards and keep 1. The bonus, you get to draw 5 cards and keep 2. So, let's go through our cards. Because there's also one action you can take anytime you want to. And that is discarding a card for $3. But before we do that, let's talk about the solo aspect of the game. This, my friend here, will also provide me with a card, a random card, each turn. When his deck is empty, he moves up 1 space. Because I'm playing on easy mode, that means I get to increase either oxygen or temperature by 2 steps. Which is really strong. It's a way to keep getting terraforming in, because early in the game, it's very difficult to get terraforming done, because your engine isn't very powerful. That'll change as the game progresses, but in the beginning, it's not ideal. Okay. So let's look at these cards and figure if there's any cards I want to discard for some buckaroos. Please note, in the actual game, you're meant to discard cards face down. In this game, I don't care. It's just you and I, gentle viewer, so I don't care. Right off the bat, small animals, stupid. The only thing it gives me is points, and I don't want points. So, you die now card. That's $3. I'm not going to add it yet, but because I might get rid of some others here. Insects are kind of powerful if I can get some plant tags out there. And I do start with 1, right? So that's 1 plant for every plant tag. That's worth keeping. Biothermal power is really strong, but it's also very expensive. And the one thing that's important to keep in mind for both the co-op mode and the solo mode especially is you only have so much time. So keeping this giant expensive card in my hand until I can finally play it is only worthwhile if that card produces a very powerful benefit. And this is a reasonably good benefit. It's a guaranteed oxygen. Plus it makes more heat. And heat is the most important thing in the game because it's the most steps you have to make. By far. So we'll keep it for now. Giant Space Mirror, 3 heat, it's just flat out good. Yes, please. Advanced Ecosystems, why do I give a fuck about points? I don't. You die now. Imported hydrogen, yes. Plants and an ocean tile, mwah. Very good. Deep well heating, raise the temperature and produce heat. I love it. Lagrange Observatory, draw a card. There's better ways to draw cards in the game, and I don't think that's worth it either. So I'm discarding 3 card arenas. That's going to get me $9, so I'm going to take a gold cube and get rid of this one. Great. So, what do I want to do first? I like the imported hydrogen, but this is going to be a great card anytime I want to play it. It's basically a slightly more expensive ocean tile, but I get other benefits. I want to start getting my engine built. And starting with the giant space mirror and getting 3 heat is awfully tempting. So I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I will pick the development card. I'm going to move these... No, I'm going to move this way down here. Game. Cease. Because I want to make sure there's room for my actual cards when I play them. So I'm going to put this card here. And they reveal the production card. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Giant Space Mirror to play. Now, this card will normally cost me $13, but because I played the development card, I pay $3 less. This costs me $10 and gives me 3 heat production. This also gives me a couple of tags, the energy tag and the space tag. Is that going to be important? Probably not, but we'll see what happens. Then I get to produce. So, I'm going to make $5. I get 0 cards. I get 3 heat. I get 1 plant. And that's it. So production is done. This is done. I cannot do the same thing twice in a row unless he happens to draw development. So anything about what else I might want to do here. Plants seem like a pretty important strategy for me. Because I want to get oxygen done quickly. So picking the construction action makes a lot of sense here. I've got $31. That's enough to play any 2 cards in my hand as long as I'm not trying to play imported hydrogen geothermal power. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the construction action and then pick up development. So I can do that next turn if I want. Unless, of course, my pal here flips over development, then I can do it right now. He picked the action phase. The timing isn't perfect, but I'm not that annoyed by it. I'm going to go ahead and play imported hydrogen. I'm going to lock this down. That's going to cost me 17 bucks. So I'm going to do 20, get 3 back. I then get to flip over an ocean tile of my choice. We'll do this one. And that immediately gives me 1 plant and 2 bucks. Not a forest tile, a plant, sorry. Un plant, 2 bucks. And I also get to add 3 plants. So I'm going to change this into a 5. And this means we're well on our way to getting our first oxygen. I also get to increase the terraforming rating by 1 because I've done actual terraforming. I unlocked an ocean. That is my construction turn. Now, I don't have a second card to play, so I'm just going to draw 1. And we get the Soletta. This is very, very expensive. I probably won't try to use this card until much later in the game. There's actually a to Kim Stanley Robinson's Mars series. The Soletta is like this thing that produces power, which is pretty cool. It's a little sun. That is my action here. My friend wants to trigger the action phase. I can't do anything with any of the standard actions. I don't have any action cards. I don't have enough plants or heat or money. I guess I could buy a second ocean tile, but I need to get my engine going. So I don't want to do anything that sacrifices the ability to make stuff. So that is what we're going to do here. Alright. So I then get to play a new card and continue going. Insects is pretty solid. I'm going to get to make a plant per tag. I don't have that many plant tags yet, but I have 1. So insects isn't the worst idea. The other option is to do deep well heating, though, which gives me heat production and it gives me 1 step of heat. And no, I do have enough to play this instead. That's oxygen. No, I want this because it's cheaper, and yes, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to spend $14. No, I'm not. I'm going to play the development card. Pick up construction, and then what are you going to do, my friend? You pick construction. That is utterly useless. Way to go, you stupid jerk. This would normally cost me 14. It's only going to cost me 11. So we're going to drop that right here. I need to be able to see the tags. I don't really care about the rest of the cards, so I'm just going to stack them on top. That's going to cost me 11 bucks. And I add another heat. And I increase the terraforming rating. Because I just increased temperature by 1 step. Very cool. Very, very cool. And you get me nothing. Because you don't get the bonus for the Souls card. The Soul card, you just get to do the top one, so just nothing happens, basically. I either need cards or I need to produce. Producing isn't quite enough to give me a heat yet, nor do I have quite enough plant production, nor do I have enough money. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up some cards. So I'm going to pick the research action. And pick up development. And he chooses the development action. I can't afford any of these cards unless I discard both of my other cards to get the insects into play. I'm going to do that. I'm about to get a whole bunch of cards, and these cards are both quite expensive, and I don't think they're as worthwhile. So we're going to discard 2. This is $6 less, meaning I only have to pay 4 to put out my insects, which will then increase my plant production by 1 for right now. And it'll be even more powerful. I'm going to put this one separate because this one is going to keep changing as I get more plant tags. So I'm going to go and increase plant production by 1. And that's development phase done. Now I get to draw 2 cards and I keep 1 of them. Really? Really, game? I guess I'll take Noctis Farming because Plantation is just flat out garbage. I don't have any money. So I think I have to take the production phase. Which is fine. And what are you going to pick? You're going to pick the research phase. That helps me a little bit, actually. Whoa, my gosh. I get to do 5 cards. And keep 2 of them. Sorry, guys. I am a potato. I don't want this card. I'm going to take these 2. Even though neither one of them can be played for a while, and I am going to need more cards, that's just something I have to deal with. That's just life. Okay, so my production happens first. I'm going to get $4 plus 7. That feels like 11 to me. I know math. I get no bonus cards. I do get 4 heat. And I get 2 plants. So we are well on our way to getting our first oxygen step and our first heat step. Well, our second heat step. Then I get to draw 2 and keep 1. Why am I getting all these cards that require giant amounts of science tags? I don't have them. This is pretty solid, though. Alright. Now, this is now empty. I get to decide what I want to increase. I want to rush towards getting red heat so that I can play one of these 2 cards. So we're going to do exactly that. We're going to go 1, 2. This advances by 1. Notice, I don't get terraforming rating. I didn't terraform. And then this gets flipped over, put back over here, and reshuffled. I need to play brainstorming session, so I'm going to pick construction. Reclaim production. And what did you draw? You picked research. Well timed. So I'm going to spend $8. And I get 2 back. And now anytime I take an action, I get to draw a card, and if it's a green card, it gives me $1, and if it's not a green card, then I get to keep it. You're going to let me draw 2 and keep 1. Neither one of these is amazing, but they're both alright. And I've got to get rid of one of them. And I think I need more heat production. Always with the heat, so I think we're going to discard the rad suits. Okay. I'm going to pick production. I don't have enough money to play any of the cards in my hand. The other alternative would be to take the action, But I want to do production first. Yeah, I definitely want to do production first. So this comes back, and you reveal development. I don't have the money, so I can't do development. Thanks, game. Really shitty timing. But I am going to produce. I'm going to get another $7. So get rid of 3, 2, 3. And I get 10. I get no cards. I do get 4 heat. And I get 2 plants. Alright. So I have money. Playing Space Heaters makes a ton of sense. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to retake my production card. And I'm going to play development. And you're going to play production. Okay, I can live with that. So Space Heaters comes out. That's going to cost me $8 because of the thing here. $3 less for playing the development card. That's going to cost me 8, so give me 2 back. That's 2 more heat production. And I get to draw a card, because that's what it says. And I get windmills. This produces heat for every energy tag you have. Oh, that's very good. I've got 2 of those already. That means for $10 I get 3 heat. And it could get even better as the game progresses. I love that a lot. We gotta prioritize that. When production, I get $7, which gives us exactly 10. I get 6 heat. And I get 2 more plants. Alright. So, I know what they haven't played yet. They haven't played construction, which would be useless to me. They haven't played the action card yet. I'm going to pick the action card, because I need to start actually terraforming Mars to win the game. And I can't do that without playing the action card. And you get action! What a terrible choice, but alright. So first things first, I get to activate any of my actions here. I can do this twice. I get to draw the top 2 cards. If they're green, I discard them and get a $1. Otherwise, I keep it. This gets discarded and gets me a $1. And what is this shiny new card I just got? Atmosphere Filtering. If I have 2 science tags, I can raise oxygen for $6. I'm not there yet, but it's interesting enough that I'll hang on to it. But 9 to do standard actions. And in fact, I must if I can. So I presently have 18 heat. 17 heat. Fuck. No, that's fine. That's fine. So we're going to raise the temperature of Mars by 2 steps. 2, which is good for 2 terraforming. 1, 2. Nice. I then, normally cost me 8 plants, but this is only going to cost me 7. So we're going to do 5, 6, 7. And I get to claim a forest tile, which is worth only points at the end of the game. Hooray. And I get 1 oxygen. Our first oxygen of the entire game. Lovely. Okay. So I know the last thing they're going to pick is they're going to pick the construction card. And unfortunately, I don't have enough to play any of the cards in my hand. So it's going to be wasted. But I could build windmills, and I will. So I'm going to play the development card. I got to get them windmills running. And surprise, surprise, the construction card I can't do anything with. That's fine. Windmills for 7 is bonkers. Because as I get more energy tags, it will become even more efficient. That's 3 heat. and it cost me $7. So 10 minus 7 sounds like 3, 2, 3. Notice that he is totally done again, so we're going to move up the green thing, and we're going to increase heat by 2. I need to get into red heat, start triggering some of these other cards I've got. So that's something that has to happen. Speaking of things that have to happen, I am broke once again. I'm out of money. So I need to do production before I do anything else. Let's get it. Production. There we go. Cool. Production. Pro-diddly-uction. And you draw construction. Again, your time could not be shittier, game. I can't do this. I don't have the money. You suck. Sigh. But I at least get to do production. That's going to be $14, so we're going to get a 10. Delete this and get a silver tube, a cube. No, we're not. 14. Yes, I was right. Yeah, getting rid of a silver cube. 15. Done. We're gonna gain 9 heat, which I think we can all agree is better than no heat. And I get 2 plants. 1 and 2. That is 1 plant short of getting another oxygen step, so this might be a great time to try to work on something that gives us more plants. Hi, Noctis Farming. I think you sound like a lovely choice. So I'm going to pick development. Production comes home. And you draw production. That's actually pretty well timed. Now the question is, actually it isn't a question, I have to play Noctis Farming because the other one is a construction card. I'm definitely going to play the Regolith Eaters as soon as I can. But I can't do it now. But I can play Noctis Farming. This will normally cost me 11. But I play development, so it costs me 3 less. That's goodbye 10. And here's what matters most. That's a plant tag. That improves my plant production. Because of right there. And oh, wait a minute, this also produces my plant production because of my insects. Now the plants are starting to snowball. And right now, just because I'm so awesome, I get 2 more plants. So we're going to delete 3 and add a silver cube. Lovely. And now I get to produce. Because my buddy here is like, I got you, fam. That's going to be $10 for money. That's going to be 9 more heat. We have a really good heat engine this time. That was a big problem for me in my last game. I wasn't making enough heat. We've got a pretty efficient one now. And last but certainly not least, I get 4 plants. So we're going to delete you. And 5. I'd love to get 14 plants if I could, because that's 2 oxygen steps, but I will happily take less. And now, my friends, we decide what to play next. So production and construction have already come out. Development does me no good. It's gonna be construction. I have enough money to play both of these, but I don't have enough tags to play both of them. I cannot play atmospheric filtering because I don't have the other science tag. Research would also be good, but I think the construction tag is the one I'm going to do so I can go ahead and make the Regolith Eaters. And give me a science tag first of all, but also get me a way to use actions to raise my oxygen. So I like that a lot. That's going to cost... I'm not going to spend anything yet because I need to see what this comes out. It comes out as research. Game, as much as you screwed me in the first 2 rounds, you're really giving me cards when I need them this time. So thank you, game. Very kind, Solo McSolo Face. Regolith Etas. Gives me another action that I can do. Remember, you can do all actions when you play the action cards. So that's very important. Es muy importante. Then I get to draw 2 and keep 1. Yes, please, Fusion Power. That's really expensive for just an ocean tile and 2 more cards. I mean, yes, it is a science tag, which will let me play atmospheric filtering. But Fusion Power, it keeps the heat engine running. And it lets me draw a card. That's really good. Goodbye technology demonstration, unfortunately. Alright, I'm going to pick development. I want that Fusion Power. And what do you got for me, amigo? You're giving me the action card. This is actually a really good time for that, so I'm pretty happy about that. So Fusion Power will cost me. Wait for it. That's going to cost me $4 dues. I'll get rid of 5. Give me back a 1, please. And then the action phase happens. So I only get to each of these once. Womp womp. But I'm going to take my card. It is a green one, so I discard it for $1. And I get to add a microbe to this card. Also, before I do anything else, I just added another energy tag. That gives me another heat. Nice. Alright, so he's only got 1 card left. What is that card? It's going to be development. I don't have any development cards. I think I have to go research, though. I only have 1 card in my hand, and while I could play it with a production phase, I have to do it. Flipping you over, it's development as predicted. But I do get to draw 5 cards and keep 2 of them now. And I do need more cards. I forgot to do the actual Fusion Power thing, which is that I get to draw cards now whenever I produce. Nice. Give me 2 cards, you miscreant. 5 cards, and keep 2. Alright. Soil warming. I don't hate it, but it is insanely expensive. So I won't be playing it anytime soon. Trapped heat, an ocean tile, and 2 heat. Yes, that is worth keeping. This is worth keeping. I'm going to get rid of you. This isn't terrible, but it's like a later game card when I've already got steel or titanium production. I like soil warming. I love trapped heat. Give me that trapped heat. So these are my 2 cards here. $10 for an ocean tile is just flat out good. Like 17 for 2 heat in an ocean tile is even better though. So that's probably what I'm looking at here. Okay, deck is empty. Move up. We're already getting close to the end, and I don't have a ton of terraforming accomplished here. I'm going to go ahead and move oxygen up by 2. Just because I'm pretty far behind there. Alright. So, I'm going to choose the production action. Because I need money if I'm going to be able to do anything else. And he draws production. I wish I'd known that, but I didn't. So we're going to get $15. I'm going to get to draw a card. Water import from Europa. Ooh, this gives me cheaper water production. That's not terrible. I get 10 heat. Womp. Part of Womp, don't you understand, game? And I get 4 plants. So subtract 1, add 5. That's done. I need to start doing the action. In order to start actually making some important moves. But I think I have to play Trapped Heat first. I've got to make some real... Trapped Heat or Subterranean Reservoir. I like Trapped Heat because it helps with production. So we're going to play that. And he's going to pick the action card. I'm totally cool with that. Trapped Heat would normally cost me 20. Instead, it's going to cost you 17. So 10, 15, 16, 17. Trapped Heat. I get 2 more heat production. That's going to get me up to 12 now, each and every turn that I get production. And most importantly, it flips an ocean tile. Let's pick this one. That's a plant and a buck. $1 and 1 plant. One plant. I know what plants are. No, I don't. I want to see something really quick here about flipping ocean tiles. I think it's, yeah, it's not permanent money, but that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so that's the development phase done. He triggers the action phase. So I don't get to do it twice, but that's fine. I get to add another microbe to the regolith eaters. And I get to draw un card, and if it's red or blue, I keep it. If it's green, I discard it. I discard it and get a buck. Okay. And I can do standard actions, which I've been waiting for. So heat is 8 each. I have 25, 29 heat. So I'm going to discard 24 of it. 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be good for 3 temperature. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. I then trigger plants. I have... It only costs me 14. So we'll get rid of 15 and get a buck back. Or get a plant back. And that turns into 2 oxygen. 1, 2. And 2 more terraforming points. 1, 2. And 2 plant tiles. These don't actually matter except they do get you points. So I guess for funsies, if I happen to win this game, I'll feel better about it. That is this turn done. I need production. I don't have enough money to build anything. And I want to produce stuff so I can do other stuff. The alternative would be to take the action again. It's not efficient, though. Production is more useful right now. So I am going to earn $19 because of my... I played the... Oh, sure. Sorry, I didn't look at this. This actually comes first. Development, I don't have any, so I can't do anything with that. So it's going to be $20 Renos. That's going to be another card. Remember, the order matters here. I couldn't have played this if it was in my hand because I'm a potato and I didn't have it at the time. 11 heat. And 4 plants. So we're going to take a 5 and get rid of a 1. Very good. Now what? Coal imports makes my heat even more silly. But I think I want to do some research. I want choices so that I can play a card that could help something else. Or I could do construction for an ocean tile. That's easy. That's a big choice and a good one. And you draw construction. God damn it, game. Oh well. $10 for a ocean tile is a pretty good price, I think. Given that it's normally 15. Let's pick this one. I get a card and a plant. Neat. And a plant. Plant. What do you do, Cartel? Produces 1 megabuck per earth tag I have. I would have 2 earth tags. I don't really have a way to get more of them. Like, it's only $3, so it's gonna pay itself off pretty handsomely, but it's not the most efficient. But I'll take it. I'll take a development card for $6. Why not? And he picks research. I can live with that. So it's going to cost me 3, 2, 3. I'm going to put you up here because, again, it depends on the number of things here. So I'm going to produce 2 because I have 2 earth tags. I have this one here and that one there. That's 2. So I'll make a little bit more money now. That's pretty good. And then you pick research. Which means I get 2 and I get to keep 1. Ooh. Oh, I like that. I like those volcanic pools a lot. It's going to be production first, then action in order to trigger it, but I like that a lot. That is really strong, and it's going to help me get ocean tiles more effectively. So Phobos Falls is gone. I think that's pretty obvious here. And this advances. 1, 2, 3, 4. I get to do 2 bumps. We're going to do 2 bumps to oxygen. 1, 2. And we now get to do something special. Because it is the last 5 turns of the game, I get to put these cards in any order I want. Okay, I can't play the volcanic pools until I get production. I could play coal imports, but I don't have development. And I could do construction just for atmospheric filtering. I do have the 2 science tags now, and it only cost me $6 to gain oxygen. And I think that's probably worth it. Okay, so if I pick construction and they pick production for their first card, okay, so that's going to let me play this for 6. I get a bunch of stuff. Then I'm going to want to trigger the action phase. No, not until I've done construction. So then you'll do construction. Then you do the action phase, then I guess you do the development phase, and then the research phase at the end. We'll do research, then development. Just because research, I can get cards and then turn them into money. Alright. So we're going to flip it over, and surprise, surprise, production starts, and I picked construction. I could build both if I had the money, but I don't, so I'm just going to spend 6 for atmospheric filtering. Lock that in, discard this, get 4 back. 1, 2, 3, 4. I increase oxygen by 1 step. I increase my terraforming rating by 1 step. And that is that. I do get to draw a card, though, so I will. Hi, livestock. It's only points. I'm just going to go ahead and use my free action and discard that for $3, because that card is useless otherwise. I'd rather have the money. 1, 2. Then he triggers production. I'm now at 16 plus 2. 16 and 2 is 18. So I'm going to discard these 2 and then take 20. Then I gain 12 heat. I gain 4 plants. And that's it. I picked the order, so I don't mind. Okay, I picked construction next. Okay. That makes sense. Do I have $29? I have $25. But it's okay, because it's $1 less for each one. Yeah, I'm gonna pick the action card. We need to get some shit done here, and this is gonna be a good time to do that. Construction. I am going to build volcanic pools. That's gonna run me $17 dues, which I will happily pay. That's gonna be 10. 20, get 3 back. 1, 2, 3. Does it give me anything right now? It does not. That's fine. My total number of energy tags currently is 4, so it only costs me $8 when I trigger the action. So I'm going to trigger this first for $8. 1, 2, 3, 8. And I get to flip an ocean tile. And it's going to get me $4. Nice. And most importantly, increases my terraforming rating. It's going to be very important now. It's always important, but it's really important now. Other actions I can take. I'm going to discard 2 microbes to raise oxygen 1 step. Again, improves terraforming rating. And then I get to draw a card, and if it's a good card, I can keep it. If it's not, then I don't. I don't hate that card, it's just not that impressive this late in the game. So we'll figure out how that works later on. Then I do standard actions, right. So heat. I presently have 28 heat. 24 is enough to get 3 heat. So that's what we'll do. We'll get 3 heat. That's going to be a 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be a 1, 2, 3. 12 plants is not enough to do it twice. I would need 14 for that. So I'm just going to discard 7 to gain oxygen again. Boop. Boop. And that's done. I've got to pick production. I don't have enough resources to do anything else at this point. So we're going to do exactly that. I'm going to pick production. I don't think you pick production. I think you pick action. That's not the end of the world, but it's pretty shitty timing because I don't have enough money to use my volcanic pools. Unless I discard cards from my hand. And maybe that's the better choice. Alright, let's go from left to right. Let's add a microbe. Yay. Let's pick up a card. It is not green, so I can keep it. This would have been great earlier on. Instead, it's just going to be money. I'm going to discard this card. I'm going to discard this card. And I'm going to discard this card. That's 3 cards discarded for a total of 9. And then I get to trigger this action, and I can spend $8 for an ocean tile. Now remember, I can only do that once per time I play the action card, so... And that gets me a card. Delightful. I don't have enough heat, and I don't have enough plants, so that's whatever. Okay, that card is amazing because it gives me an oxygen for the price of 3 heat, and I make way more than 3 heat, so I'm good with that. Now I get to produce, and I get the $4 bonus, so that's going to give me 26. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 10. That's a 5, that's a 20, that's a 6. That's going to give me a card. I'm just going to ditch this right now because this is way too late to be trying to build a titanium strategy. Give me my $3. I'll just discard 2 and get a 5. I'm going to generate 12 heat. That's going to be this. And then 1, 2, 3. There. And then I'm going to generate 4 plants. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That is that done. I think you're doing research and then development is your last card. So if everyone is going to get constructed, I have to do it now. So I shall. I don't think we're going to win. We're somewhat close, but I just don't think... I think our engine took a little bit too long to run, and so we're kind of in a bit of a pickle here. So you're going to flip over research. I'm going to play this. It's just going to cost me 3 heat. That's going to be you go away. I get 2 back. And then that's going to earn me 4 plants. And I can add 2 microbes to any other card. Hi there. And he lets me draw 2 and keep 1. Is there a game-changing card here? $17 for 2 temperature is kind of shitty because I'm going to have to do action, right? I have to pick the action phase as my last choice. So this doesn't really help me. So I'm going to get rid of you. And there's never going to be another production phase. Everything has to get done here in this action phase, so... Action it is. Oh, before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and discard the 2 cards left in my hand to get $6. Because I'm never going to be able to play them, right? I know I could have played one of the developments. I need the money more, though, because the money might be what saves us here. Alright, because I played action, I can take 1 action twice. Which will probably be this one, but let's draw our card first. It is not blue, so I'm just going to discard it for $3. Delete these. Get a 5. Okay. I then use the regolith eaters to raise oxygen a step. And then I am going to trigger my volcanic pools twice. That would normally cost 24, actually just cost 16, because I have 4 energy tags, so that's going to be 16. So we're going to do 10, 15, 16, and we get to reveal 2 pools. That's 4 plants. That is very well timed. Thank you, game. You are truly sometimes a huge pain in my ass and other times massively helpful. Okay. So, I think we're going to run short on heat again. Somehow, someway, I always run short on heat, but we'll see. So, first things first, I have enough money to get the two pools. I have no other way to get oceans at this point. I gotta do it. So I'm gonna go and spend 30 bucks. 10, 15. Oh no. Game. No, you didn't. You stuck me with $27. I have no other way to make money. I hope one of these, I have to basically do the 15 and hope that one of them gives me money. $1 in a card. I will take that happily. $1 a card. I don't give a shit what it is. You just go right to the discard pile to get me $3 more. 2, 3, and then we're gonna do 5, 10. 15, and the last ocean tile is flipped and gets me another card. I'm just going to instantly discard it and spend $3 and get $3. I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think I have any other way to get money, but it doesn't do me any good staying in my hand either. Okay, I need 3 oxygen steps. Do I have 21 plants? I don't. I'm not even close to 21 plants. We have 19 plants. That is good enough to do to get 14 for 2, but it's not good enough to get 3. 1, 2, and 1, 2. Finally, we have the heat. I got 14 heat. That's good enough to increase the heat once. I don't get like some kind of secret last turn benefit, do I? Fuck. That's it. We failed to terraform Mars. We got reasonably close. We were 1 step away from oxygen and 5 away from heat. And I like how every time I think I have too much heat, I still don't have enough. Which is very interesting to me. So, let's talk a little bit about the game. As much as I appreciate the fact that there is a competitive mode, a co-op mode, and a solo mode, I think both the co-op mode and the solo mode are a little bit lacking. I think the solo mode is too hard. Even on easy, you get 8 steps, which sounds great until you can't get them because, yeah. Especially because it doesn't improve your terraforming rating. Which means that, yes, it helps you get closer to the end of the game. I don't know. I feel like you could win with the exact perfect sequence of cards, but I think one of the upcoming expansions improves co-op and maybe solo too, and I hope it does. Competitive, this game is amazing. It gives you everything you want from Terraforming Mars in a much cleaner, faster package. And for some people, that's ginormous. That is absolutely critical in order to enjoy this game. Because base Terraforming Mars does take a while. It's probably half an hour, 45 minutes a player. You play 4 players, that's the better part of an evening. You could pull this game out and play it in probably an hour and a half. Because turns are meant to be simultaneous. I'm playing solo, you obviously can't see that, but that's how it's meant to be. Okay. The biggest challenge with any game like this, whether it's Terraforming Mars, Terraforming Mars Expedition, Ark Nova, any game that has a giant stack of cards, is you can never be sure you're ever going to get one particular card. And so that means you have to be ready to change your strategies, but sometimes you just don't have a choice. I never really got the giant ball rolling that I wanted to because I just wasn't getting plant tags. I wasn't getting energy tags. I wasn't getting world tags. Actually, I would have gotten $2 more. I don't think it would have mattered, though. No, it wouldn't have mattered. That's kind of a bummer. And when you're playing with a lot of people, or you're playing the competitive mode where there's no clock, it doesn't matter as much because you can basically cycle through the cards as much as you want to. But I don't think this game needs... The game either needs a longer clock in solo or cooperative mode, or it needs something else besides a clock. Because 25 turns is not enough unless the cards break perfectly for you. Or you get just the perfect corporation to start out with. Our corporation was good. It was very good. It gave us cheaper planes the whole bloody game. And that's just not enough. I don't love the fact you don't get the bonus in the solo mode, whereas you would get the bonus in the co-op mode, right? I don't know. I'd almost rather play a 2-player co-op game solo than play the solo mode as currently created. Because yeah, I don't think clocks work in a game like this unless you're willing to play the game perfectly. And you can't predict how perfect it's going to be because you're not going to get enough cards. The game has 208 cards. We saw less than a quarter of them. Maybe exactly a quarter. Maybe a fifth. No, definitely 2/5. 2/5. Because we basically went through like 40-some cards. If you're playing with multiple players, it's not as big a deal because you're going through the deck faster. But it really doesn't feel like it's well balanced at the solo count or at the co-op mode. I'm hoping that the expansions that are coming out, which are called Discovery and what's the other one called? It's something that starts with an E. Let me check real fast. I want to say Expedition, but that doesn't feel right. That does not feel right, my friends. Not even a little bit. It is definitely, one of them is definitely Discovery, and it's meant to fix the co-op mode, I think. Let's see. Oh, it's Foundations and Crisis. It's actually 3 expansions. Very cool. So yeah, Crisis includes full co-op. Foundations lets you play with 5 to 6 players, and Discovery adds in the awards and milestones from the base game, which are really, really cool. I'm so excited for these to come out. Like, the Foundations, I don't care as much about, unless there's other cool stuff, but make it happen, guys. Put it in my hands. I'm begging you. I want it so badly. It is unfortunately too late to back it, but I'm sure it will eventually make its way to, say, Amazon or other places so that you can buy the expansions for yourself. So, I think that's it for Terraforming Mars. I can't think of anything else I want to bring up. I think the rewards for ocean tiles feel a little bit light. Especially because ocean tiles require money. There is no easy way to get ocean tiles. You can build a plant engine, you can build a heat engine, you can build a steel or titanium engine to make cards cheaper. But you can't build an ocean engine. And so maybe the better solution is to reduce the cost of oceans or make the oceans more powerful. And maybe one of those things will happen in the expansions. Again, all of these complaints, all these concerns only apply to the co-op and solo modes. In competitive, it doesn't matter because there's no clock. But in the solo mode and the co-op mode, there is a clock. So, still, I appreciate the fact that they actually took the time to create a co-op mode, which was not in the original Terraforming Mars. Solo mode was, but there was no co-op mode. And I really like that. I like that they included it. I like that it plays really, really smoothly. I'm just not super convinced that it's that easily won. The solo mode is definitely too hard. I'm sure someone has beaten the game 100 times in solo mode, but it's so dependent on which cards you get and when you get them that you can't really plan for it. Like, you can open up the game and be like, I know what I need. I need that cartel card. I'm going to go hardcore Earth mode. All the Earth cards, I'm going to crank out money and everything else will be great. And then that card never comes up at all. So that does make me... I don't know. I feel like I've been kind of insulting the game, but let me make this perfectly clear. I love Terraforming Mars, and if you wanted to play this game competitively, I'm there. I'd rather play this competitively than base Terraforming Mars. I like some of the stuff that's missing from Terraforming Mars Earth's Expedition, like the awards, the milestones. I miss cities and the extra strategic placement there, but I don't miss them enough to undercut how absolutely pretty and smooth this game runs. It just runs so beautifully that I'd rather play this competitively than base Terraforming Mars competitively. Now, I don't have any expansions for Terraforming Mars. I haven't really wanted them because I think the base game is complex enough. But I know that if you have the expansions, that probably changes how much mileage you get out of the game. And if that's the case, maybe that pushes base Terraforming Mars back to it. But if you said, let's play Terraforming Mars competitively, I'm pulling out Ares Expedition. And I'm not saying that to bag on Terraforming Mars, which is still one of my favorite games I've ever played. I just like this better. I like it better. I'd play either one of them happily, but I'd rather play this game, especially with higher player counts, because the game won't drag as much at higher player counts. The base game gives you 4, as you just heard. The expansions that come in the Kickstarter also give you up to 6 players, which is pretty badass. But that concludes Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. I hope you enjoyed the video. In 2 weeks, we're going to be playing Viticulture again with the Tuscany expansion. And that'll be a lot of fun, I think. After that, we might take a break from Tabletop Simulator just because Victoria 3 is coming out at the end of October. And I'm going to be playing that on the channel. So I'm probably going to pump the brakes on Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, or on Tabletop Simulator, excuse me, so we can play Victoria 3, because that game is just more fun to me. I love everything I've seen of Victoria 3, but I can gush about that another time. For now, I want to thank you very much for your attention and for your viewership. I hope you found this video helpful. If I made a silly rules goof, or you're like Avi, you completely missed this obvious move that would have given you like $1,000, then feel free to timestamp it and let me know in the comments. I'm always interested in getting better when I play games. Until next time, however, when we'll be playing Viticulture Tuscany Expansion, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.